Class is now in session. And the UPS Store is here to help you ace arriving on campus. Our certified packing experts can pack everything you need, from desktops to decor. Plus, when you pack and ship with us, you get our exclusive pack and ship guarantee. Your items arrive safe or your money back. Restrictions and limitations apply. To get a 20% off packing coupon and for full details, visit theupsstore.com/packing.
This episode is brought to you by Welch's Fruit Snacks. Back to school season can be tough on parents, but choosing a snack you and your kids can both get behind doesn't have to be. Stock up on Welch's Fruit Snacks, made with whole fruit and now made with no artificial dyes. It's a snack kids already love and one you can feel good about giving them. Go back to school with Welch's Fruit Snacks, now made with no artificial dyes.
Hey friends, Olivia from Ollie. Between new routines and the ultimate group project known as parenting, you need science-backed solutions that work with your life. That's where Ollie comes in. Start your mornings off right with multis made to support nutrition and immune health. Choose from our lineup of gut-supporting probiotics, and we've got occasional sleep support to help the whole fam chase their big dreams. Head back to class with the #1 gummy supplement brand. Stock up on ollie.com today. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hi, Dumpster Divas. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. And today I am joined by one of Bravo Podcasting's pioneers. He's here in the dumpster with me to help me look back at 20 years of Bravo and Housewives programming, buy his books, How Do I Unremember This?, The Jolliest Bunch, and obviously subscribe to the podcast Everything Iconic. The one and only Danny Pellegrino is here. Hi.
Hi, Tom. I'm so happy to be in the dump. Thank you for inviting me. And I'm so glad we finally got to make this happen. I feel like we've been ships passing in the night.
Online friends for a bit. I'm so happy that you're here. And it's, yeah, I perfect timing too.
I know there's a lot going on in the Bravo universe. What are you watching? What are you liking right now?
I'm loving Atlanta. I think that it's going under recapped and under discussed for some reason. Maybe it's because, I mean, we're just two white guys sitting here with podcast mics, and there's a whole other side of the internet, obviously, that consumes culture that we're not always a part of. But like, I just want everyone to be watching it. It's just like a killer season. Seeing that reunion trailer, I thought was like a jolt of adrenaline. I'm loving that. And then, the Valley, the Valley started and I was like, I can't do this. And then to be honest with you, you and the Sup gang, Carrie and Lara, I was like, I just love listening to the three of y'all on your respective shows recap the absolute nonsense. And then somehow, honestly, Bravo should just like write you a check, because like you in turn made me invest in the show. And then now the back half of this season has been absolutely diabolical.
You know, I find the Valley really fun to recap. Sometimes the shows that are good, like, they're not as fun to recap, as you know. It's like I like when they're either like a little messy or a little extra bad, or I don't know. There's like a weird sweet spot, and I tend to only cover two shows, and I'm loving Atlanta right now too. But I tried to stick to two shows, and I kind of tried to decide like what's going to be the most fun to recap and the silliest, or what can I kind of like make fun of, and but I'm loving Atlanta too. But I think they finally got like the Atlanta cast right. Like it seems like they really nailed down a good casting, and the Valley is really dark and heavy, but I have the most fun recapping it. And yeah.
No, it is, but it's also just laugh out loud funny. Like the situations they're in. I mean, Zach is in himself such a bizarre and perfect reality television character. Him blowing up a bathroom at the Chili's, him getting his head sliced open.
I just saw a TikTok this morning, and forgive me, I should have written or saved it or whatever, but I don't know who did it. But somebody was like saying it was a meme that was like Zach on the Valley, and how he always goes like that. Because he's always kind of giving that reaction shot with his lips clenched. And I was like, oh, my God, that's so Zach. But, yeah, it's funny. I mean, also, I think the Valley, I live in the Valley, and I feel like I've met and known a lot of those guys and the people, not the guys, but like the people on the show. And so it's really fun to recap. I don't know. And Brittany's like a crazy character to get to recap. And I mean, they all are. It's like, and it's so fascinating. Kind of, I know we were going to talk about sort of like where our Bravo origins are, but like, I think it's so funny that when I think of the origins of the Real Housewives, and Vanderpump is obviously a spinoff of Real Housewives, and then The Valley was a spinoff of that. But it's like so funny to me how it's devolved, where we started with behind the gates of this expensive community, and we're seeing these women and rich women and go to lunch and those kinds of things, and then it's devolved into like Brittany throwing a crab boil on The Valley, and it's like that is so funny to me. It's ridiculous.
Well, I think at least 3 times a week about how she said, I'm going to get my stomach sucked out. The last thing I want my body to see is a boiled bag.
Tom, it's the craziest thing in the world. Like, and I think about it, and it was right before Mexico, and then she goes on the trip, and didn't she still have the drains in her? But it was like, it's crazy. It's so absurd. And I think it was so bold and brave. It's interesting. I'm finishing up my next book right now. And I write about her crab boil because I was like, you know what? You could look at it as like silly, or you could look at it as like very bold and brave to be like, I'm going to throw this crab boil immediately before having major surgery. And I am choosing to look at it like that. And it's so funny to me, though, that she's doing that.
Well, I do think it, I've heard you talk about this. I think it kind of I can't believe I'm going to draw this line from crab boil to my next topic, but I really do think that it all comes back to the reason we love these shows, which is primarily it's women living out loud in scenarios that are not written for them. Like, I just don't think anyone would write woman gets mommy makeover crab boil night before. Like, it just is. And if it was written, it would be played incredibly camp and funny, where she's taking, this is her life, this is so serious, and that's what makes it so entertaining. But I think that's why we love these shows. And what original Bravo programming got you back 20 years ago?
I think when I look back, of course, I watch Inside the Actors Studio and that kind of thing when it was more of an arts channel. And then I remember when they started introducing shows like Workout was my favorite back in the day with Jackie Warner. Do you remember that one where it was just like trainers? So I loved that. And then Kathy Griffin, Life on the D-List, that was like the one where I was like, oh, I'm developing like an obsession with this channel. And then it became like every kind of show that came out. And the Kathy Griffin, Life on the D-List, obviously very different than the other reality shows like Workout or Housewives and that kind of thing. But I think that's what introduced like the Bravo wink, where the humor was starting to come out on the network, and they were starting to embrace in the editing and in the form of reality TV that like sort of we're laughing at them and you can laugh along with us. And so those are the shows that I remember most of getting hooked on. And then in terms of Housewives, New York was the first one that I latched onto when they started. And then I sort of went back and watched. At that point, there had been a couple seasons of Orange County on. So I had gone back and watched those. But then it was like then we hit the ground running. It was like Tamara joined Orange County, and it became sort of the Housewives that we know today. But yeah, those were the shows that early on. And then everything from like NYC Prep to Blood, Sweat, and Heels. Was that a show? Uh-huh. And then there was like a food blogger or a food show where yeah, there was all sorts of stuff.
Oh, I was going to say Gallery Girls. That's another one that comes to mind.
No, I loved Gallery Girls, Tom.
I loved Tom. Long Island Princesses. I mean, I can't. It's so insane. That's a little later, but it's still crazy to me that just never got its legs.
Yeah, and Gallery Girls, the spirit of it lives on because Next Gen NYC has like little pieces of that. You could kind of draw the line from Gallery Girls to what's her name who doesn't wash the hands on New York City?
Georgia.
Next Gen. Yeah, Georgia.
Yeah, she is. You're right. She is an exact like replica of a Gallery Girl cast member.
Yeah, she's Gen Z Gallery Girl.
Yeah, absolutely. Workout was pretty formative for me, especially being closeted and like turning on the TV. And Project Runway. Project Runway was like a huge like moment for me because I think we forget, because the competition reality of today has in a lot of ways become incredibly either ultra athletic or has become incredibly like family friendly, but we don't have a lot of the like messy 20 something competition reality that was kind of the standard for that format. Like Project Runway was like messy. Like people were like fighting. There was like scandals. Like same with Top Chef. Like, but now it's been kind of. I do think I guess they're playing with the format now. But I thought that early Top Chef and Project Runway were like so. Like I was like appointment television in my bedroom.
Well, and back in the day, I don't think there was as many rules and restrictions for reality TV. So maybe not so much with Project Runway, but a lot of the shows in early on, they would just sort of follow them with cameras. And then it started to become like they would have their call times and they would, film for 1 hour at this restaurant. But back in the day, I feel like you can watch an early season of Atlanta Housewives or Orange County or New York, and the camera was just sort of following him to the next shop, and they didn't have to always get clearance if like they were on a cast trip and they walked into a store. Whereas now you could almost feel how they have to like production has to go into the store, set it up way ahead of time, get the releases signed, like everything, even the confessionals, which Atlanta this season, they brought it back, but they used to do on the fly confessionals. So they would the producer would have the camera wherever they were. And after the women stopped fighting, like if Sheree was tugging on Kim's wig, then the camera person would follow Sheree and say, how do you feel about that after it just happened, instead of 3 months later in a studio somewhere when they're doing the confessional. So the form was just so much more both relaxed and it felt more like we were flies on the wall with their lives. And then it kind of morphed into something else, which good in other ways. But I miss those days where it just felt like there was no glam. They were just kind of chasing them with the camera and like whatever was happening was happening.
Class is now in session. And the UPS Store is here to help you ace arriving on campus. Our certified packing experts can pack everything you need, from desktops to decor. Plus, when you pack and ship with us, you get our exclusive pack and ship guarantee. Your items arrive safe or your money back. Restrictions and limitations apply. To get a 20% off packing coupon and for full details, visit theupsstore.com/packing.
This episode is brought to you by Welch's Fruit Snacks. Back to school season can be tough on parents, but choosing a snack you and your kids can both get behind doesn't have to be. Stock up on Welch's Fruit Snacks, made with whole fruit and now made with no artificial dyes. It's a snack kids already love and one you can feel good about giving them. Go back to school with Welch's Fruit Snacks, now made with no artificial dyes.
Hey friends, Olivia from Ollie. Between new routines and the ultimate group project known as parenting, you need science-backed solutions that work with your life. That's where Ollie comes in. Start your mornings off right with multis made to support nutrition and immune health. Choose from our lineup of gut-supporting probiotics, and we've got occasional sleep support to help the whole fam chase their big dreams. Head back to class with the #1 gummy supplement brand. Stock up on Ollie.com today. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hear that? That's now Crispy and McCrispy strips meeting Creamy Caesar sauce. Sounds extra crispy. Caesar sauce at McDonald's for a limited time. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I get so many headaches every month.
It could be chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those who have 14 or fewer headache days a month. Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor. Visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Listening to this podcast instead of doom scrolling? Smart move. Another smart move? Getting help from one of State Farm's 19,000 local agents when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Well, this month, guys, we're doing some kind of like retrospectives about Bravo since it is the 20-year anniversary of Housewives, and Ultimate Girls Trip is dropping in a couple days. So, which have you seen? I have not seen it ahead of time. Have you seen it ahead of time?
I have.
Is
this out? When is this out?
This will be out
episode?
after it comes out.
After?
The Monday after.
Oh, yeah. I loved it. I mean, I think Ultimate Girls Trip does an interesting thing where it's kind of more about the nostalgia and not so much about the drama. Mm-hmm. But I only saw the first two, but I was really enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm excited just to see all the girls get together from across county lines.
It's fun to just see them interact. It's like, oh, that's what it'd be like for Vicky to interact with Lisa Barlow or whatever.
Yeah,
I love that.
Totally.
I love that.
Well, I love that. We're going to do some like fun superlatives. So I'm interviewing a couple different people this month, guys, and we're all going to chat about everyone's just adequately hyped seasons and franchises, and then some things that are underrated. I don't want to go negative. I don't want to go like overrated because, everyone's got their opinions and I'm not trying to shake the table too much. It's a positive month, guys.
Wait,
go ahead.
Tom, now that you bring that up though, can I say something that's so interesting? I've been podcasting for like 10 years and I was just thinking about this the other day because when I started it sort of felt like the community of the audience. You could like someone, like you and I could be having this conversation and you could, let's say, really love Bethany and I could love Ramona or whatever it was. And now, and we could have this respect and fun laughing about whatever they were doing, the shenanigans, and still respect each other. And then it started to get like very tribal where it was like, if you like this person, like you are my number one enemy. And the fan bases have just gotten so tribal and divided where I used to feel like back in the day you could watch and it's like, yeah, if you love someone that I hate, it was like silly and funny. Who cares? It's reality TV. It's nonsense. And we're all going to change our opinions the next season anyway. But I noticed it's like now people will have their favorites, or even this season on The Valley, a lot of people will kind of dig their heels in and be like, well, I didn't like Janet last season, so I will never like her. And it's like, I would love it if we could go back to just sort of going on the Bravo ride a little bit where it's like, yeah, I hated her last season and then this season I love her. Next season I might hate her again. Like, we'll see.
Well, I think there's like a battle with it too, where it's like we have gotten more access to them just through social media, through everyone having podcasts, through like blind item culture. Like we just have more access to these people than we did before. So we feel like we know them. So when they wrong us in some sort of way, they didn't wrong you. But when they wrong you, like you're like emotional about it and you have your feelings about it. And it just does kind of suck the fun out of it in many ways. Obviously we all have our least favorites, but like, if there's someone you don't like if there's an actress you don't like, an actor you don't like, a director you don't like, you just don't consume their content, right? But like, yeah, like you don't write every day like I can't stand. It's like that's crazy.
And there is a line of like, yeah, if they were to I don't know, do something really horrific off camera, like Jen Shah or whatever, like obviously that's a line where it's like, yeah, I don't want to support that person maybe, but. I wish we could all kind of go back to having a little fun and being able to poke fun, because I feel like sometimes now if you poke fun at someone that's someone else's fave, it's like they will get so pissed off and mad. Like the fan base will come after you, and it's like I'm just trying to have fun watching reality TV. Like, have some laughs.
The Janet of all, the line you move when someone throws a drink and it's iconic. And then when it's assault, I mean, it was always assault. Let's just call it what it is. But it's like sometimes we excuse it as like iconic behavior, but then just because it's like appropriately someone that you can't stand. Now all of a sudden it's crossing a line. It's like, what did we sign up for on these shows? It was mess, I thought.
I know. We maybe you should be a little less sensitive.
Yeah, a little less. Agreed.
What's happening on screen. But it's hard to say because I hate those other two, Nia and Danny. So it's like hard for.
And y'all don't tag Danny. Don't tag this Danny.
I know I get tagged as Danny.
It's crazy
on social media. It's nuts, and I think that's probably why I've been thinking about this so much lately, because like the messages that I get when people sort of tag me as Danny, like they get like pretty intense, and I hate that man on TV. Like I don't like watching him, and he's awful to me. But even still, I'm like, some of these messages that I'm getting tagged in, that I'm like, oh, he gets these like 100 times a day. And like, it's getting, scary.
Let him.
That's all.
But
I still hate him.
Hate. But like, I don't think there's any reason to be like coming at any of these people. Like, you don't know them. It's not to what. It's never worth it, in my opinion, in general. But let's talk about our adequately hyped categories here. So we have, what's an adequately hyped franchise that you can always be like, that is something you can direct someone towards?
To me, the original RHONY, I think those first, I don't know how many, 10 seasons or whatever, 10 plus seasons, to me are kind of perfect reality TV. And I think those are adequately hyped. And I go back to those, and I think that to me, and same with the past maybe 5 seasons of Salt Lake City, I feel like they do the perfect job of drama, laughs, getting to know these women. Like it kind of has all the mix that I personally like with Bravo. I need that sort of Bravo wink where we're laughing at them, like we just talked about. And those two franchises always deliver. Same with, a lot of the early seasons of the show kind of deliver that. But those two in particular, I used to call it RHONY whiplash, where it's like, 2 people on screen would be fighting, and then it was like the fight would devolve to where they made up, and then those 2 people are fighting 2 other people, and then they make up. And these shows are all about conflict resolution, and those 2 franchises I think do the resolution part the best, where we're not dragging a fight. And kind of on the flip side of the coin, you have something like Beverly Hills, where they'll draw out for the whole season a fight over a small thing, and that might be representative of like the culture in Beverly Hills, and that's probably partially why it happens on that show. But I personally like when it's conflict resolution, and then we have other things going on, and I like when there's layers of kind of going back to that tribalism we talked about. The shows, I think, often facilitate a lot of that tribalism with the fan base. And so we'll have a season, like for instance, with The Valley, it very much this season has become you're either on Danny and Nia's side or Janet's side. And it's because they don't really have other things going on. I mean, we have little pockets of like Kristen dealing with her Luke stuff, or, Brittany having her mommy makeover, whatever. But for the most part, the whole season is centered on that. Whereas early RHONY and Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is like, there's 100 different fights going on. And so if you're on Carol's side one week, the next week you might be on Bethany's side because Carol's fighting with someone new. Or does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or it's just, I like all the layers.
Yeah, we got to have a lot going on. You don't watch a scripted network drama that has one story the whole time. I would add in, I also think, Atlanta for the first, I would say like 8 or 9 as well, just on top of that. And then in terms of seasons that jump out to you and you're like, if you need a season to jump into, when you think of someone that's never dove into Bravo before, I always direct to Beverly Hills seasons 1 and 2 as an adequately hyped season, or RHONY with Bethany's return, or like my 2 like go-to hop-ins. What about you?
Yeah, I love both of those. Fantastic. I think the thing that I recommend most is season 3 of RHONY as like a starting point. And I always say like, that's if you have a lot of time to like, fully dive in and watch 10 more seasons of it. But I love that. And to me, that kind of has everything of like a lot of good friendship drama. It's the start of the cast trips that they started doing on Housewives with Scary Island, which to me is like one of the greatest cast trips. But so I always direct people to that. I think Salt Lake City now is one that I'm like, I feel like anyone I recommend to go back and watch Salt Lake City from the beginning. People love it. And it starts sort of with a bang with Mary talking about the smelling like hospital, and it's got all the sort of absurdity that I love. But in Beverly Hills is a great choice for people who are kind of on the fence or maybe watch like another type of reality show, because I think Beverly Hills has all the glamour and kind of sparkly shininess, and as well as the drama those first few seasons. So I think Beverly Hills is usually good. And also Beverly Hills has like recognizable people. So like, I tried to get my aunt to watch, and I was like, she knew who like the Richard sisters were. So it was like a good, easy.
Yeah, an easy entry
hook.
and then one day she'll be able to dive into, all the little niche shows. But yeah, I think that's why Salt Lake City is so popular though, is because it's been it was the first show in a minute where it was a new franchise that started recently and had like real legs to it. So it kind of created a new ecosystem around Housewives where before that, I mean, minus Potomac and Dallas, like everything had been on for so long. It's a little daunting to jump into a 10 season series at season 7 and be like, really, I can hop in here. But Salt Lake, you can be like, yes, start at the beginning. It was only a couple years ago. And then you'll be in to Bravo for life.
And the cast has remained largely unchanged on Salt Lake City. And I think that's, easy for people. So, you could jump around on Salt Lake City.
Class is now in session. And the UPS Store is here to help you ace arriving on campus. Our certified packing experts can pack everything you need, from desktops to decor. Plus, when you pack and ship with us, you get our exclusive pack and ship guarantee. Your items arrive safe or your money back. Restrictions and limitations apply. To get a 20% off packing coupon and for full details, visit theupsstore.com/packing.
This episode is brought to you by Welch's Fruit Snacks. Back to school season can be tough on parents, but choosing a snack you and your kids can both get behind doesn't have to be. Stock up on Welch's Fruit Snacks, made with whole fruit and now made with no artificial dyes. It's a snack kids already love and one you can feel good about giving them. Go back to school with Welch's Fruit Snacks, now made with no artificial dyes.
Hey friends, Olivia from Ollie. Between new routines and the ultimate group project known as parenting, you need science-backed solutions that work with your life. That's where Ollie comes in. Start your mornings off right with multis made to support nutrition and immune health. Choose from our lineup of gut-supporting probiotics, and we've got occasional sleep support to help the whole fam chase their big dreams. Head back to class with the #1 gummy supplement brand. Stock up on ollie.com today. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hear that? That's now Crispy and McCrispy strips meeting creamy Caesar sauce. Sounds extra crispy. Caesar sauce at McDonald's for a limited time. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I get so many headaches every month.
It could be chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those who have 14 or fewer headache days a month. Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor. Visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
Yeah, agreed. Well, speaking of Scary Island, any other trips that you're like, absolutely never skip, we'll go and rewatch? Sometimes I'll go and rewatch like trips back to back if I'm like having a bad day. I mean, the Berkshires jumps out to mind, Tequila, Mexico, and Scary Island.
Yeah, I notice I find myself watching Berkshires every holiday season. I love the Christmas at the Berkshires. And I mean, I go back to that Ultimate Girls Trip too at Berkshires. I thought that season, it was like season 2 of Ultimate Girls Trip, I think, which technically isn't a trip, I suppose, but I love that season. It's like so fallish. Like as the Halloween stuff is coming out in the stores, I'm like, oh, do I need to rewatch Ultimate Girls Trip at the Berkshires?
I should rewatch. I haven't rewatched that.
So
That was only a one-off for me, which not because it was bad. It was just like I don't rewatch a lot of more current stuff. I rewatch like older stuff in terms of Bravo. That's worth a rewatch because I mean, one of my favorite, most hilarious moments in the Pantheon, which somehow gets missed over sometimes, is when Phaedra said that Dorinda was 10 years older than Brandy, and Brandy said, no, we're the same age.
It's so good. To me, that's the peak of the girls' trip form. And there's a lot of drama too. I love the fight where Dorinda's yelling at Vicky, and Vicky's like, oh, I saw it on the internet. And Dorinda's like, oh, the internet. She like starts to lose it. She's like, well, I got a unicorn in my house. Like she just starts spewing Dorinda-isms. And also it feels, there's a point too where Dorinda feeds Phaedra like a crab or something. Maybe I think it might be a crab leg or something, but she feeds it like so sexually and it's so odd, and everybody's like, what's going on? Like it's just got all the comedy. Oh, and then Dorinda yelling about like Vicky and Tamara having food in their rooms, and it's so funny. What's so great about that too is like we get to see how Tamara acts on her franchise and what it's like for her to come against Dorinda, because Tamara will do sort of her tricks that she normally gets away with on Orange County, but she can't get away with it with Dorinda. And so I love that. So there's a lot. And to me, it feels very seasonal. It's like perfect around fall to watch because it feels very fall-y to me.
Yeah, guys, life hack. Decorate the Christmas tree with a Berkshire's Marathon. I've done it multiple years in a row, and it is an absolute joy.
Also, those Berkshire's holiday episodes, like that trip, the Christmas one that you were talking about, where it's like Jules's dad is sick and Carol's hiding in the closet. You know, there's like a lot of great stuff there. But that's a perfect one for people too who've never watched Housewives. Like my mom doesn't watch Housewives, but I've gotten her to watch that around the holidays, and she'll laugh at Dorinda saying, yelling at someone, or I made it nice, or whatever's going on in those. And it's like there's Christmas trees everywhere, and it's like a perfect Christmas movie.
When Jules is sitting on that curb crying about her sick dad, and Luann pops up next to her and is like, these women want to hate me because I'm a slut.
I can't believe what she just said to me.
Yeah, she's like, I can't believe what she just said to me. And Jules is like, well, my dad's dying.
Oh no, it's so good.
My God, it's so funny.
I go back to their Cartagena trip too. Mm-hmm. The boat ride from hell to me is great TV.
Yeah, I co-sign all of that. And then in general, like an adequately hyped housewife, I'm got to shout out Nene.
So good.
Because, she's transcended the culture. Anyone else, obviously, that comes to mind?
I think they're going to bring her back. And since this is airing after Ultimate Girls Trip, and I'm sorry, Tom, to give you a little spoiler because I know you haven't watched it yet. But the very beginning, there's a scene that opens with Nene going over to Portia's house to get her ready for this trip. And I thought it was so, it says so much that they opened the show with Nene, because I think so many of us were so excited that she's finally returning. And it's just it's a quick little scene, but I hope it opens the door and brings her back to Atlanta, because she really, brought just so much to the show. And her last couple of seasons on the show were a little rough, but I would love to see her back, because it was just seeing her enter Portia's house just brought so much serotonin to my body. I'm like, oh, I need more of her. I need to just see her. I'd love to see her back with Phaedra and Cynthia, and I'd love to see her with Angela. Like the thought of her and Angela together in a scene just is so exciting.
Or her absolutely eviscerating Kelly.
Like it would just, I think that it would be so fun to watch her again. Like I hope that's where they're headed, which that's the rumor. Maybe it's not true, but at the very least, it'll be nice that it seems like the network's open to having her more. So like even if she was on Traitors or something, which I know she was supposed to be on last season of the Traitors. So hopefully we'll get some sort of Nene. But yeah, if you look at all like the memes and everything that's come out of it, it's like Nene's 90% of them. Like she brought so much to the show.
Yeah, totally agree. Now, before I let you go, just any overall like underrated shows, underrated trips, underrated seasons that You know, we've hit a lot of the things that I think most of the main culture has a knowledge of. What do you think gets skipped over?
I think Miami always gets skipped over. The early seasons of Miami, especially season 2, I think is like one of the all-time great Housewives seasons. Season 3 got a little. Season 3 I think is still good, but it got a little kind of shaky. But season 2 of Miami, I thought is a perfect Housewives season. It had it all, and it had heavy Mama Elsa, which was just such a great character for the show. But in general, I think Miami always, even when they came back for their reboot, it was like they were delivering season after season. And then unfortunately, it's on pause right now. I'm hopeful that it'll come back. But I always think Miami is just so underrated. And I love the Miami women. And I hope they get it together because I don't think they've ever delivered. Season 1 is like not great of Miami. But other than that, I'm like, I don't think they've given a bad season. Season 3 is a little messy, a little not great. But other than that, it's like they've had some perfect seasons of Housewives.
I agree. And something that is just so wild to me is that it's also just one of the most innately diverse casts, like authentically. Like I think, we've dealt a lot with in the last 6 years trying to diversify these shows, some to success and some to not, because there's not authentic relationships always at play here. And that is a group of women that have created just an authentic group of women from all different backgrounds. And I just think it's so special, that show. It's so kooky. It scratches like an old Roni itch, to be honest with you. And yeah, I totally co-sign.
And I think someone like Alexia is like one of the all-time classic Housewives. Like I know people compare her to Teresa on Jersey, and I think she has that of like all the hallmarks of like what we love from a Real Housewife. To me, Alexia has. Even if you hate her, I think you can be like, oh yeah, she kind of delivers. Yeah, what Housewives is at its nucleus, and even Adriana, who's like a friend of. To me, is one of the all-time greats, like of the form. And it's like she was just a friend the past handful of seasons and still just delivering perfect scenes and perfect whatever. So, I love Miami. And also, I'm so disappointed it's on pause or whatever, because it always was so fun to watch because it was like bright and sunny and like colorful. It just, even production value-wise, I found it really like a refreshing. Anytime I put it on, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to like settle into warm Miami for a minute and see the sun and the neon colors that the production would always highlight. And so I miss that.
Yeah, no, I agree with all that.
Yeah. And Potomac too. Potomac, I think sometimes gets lost in the shuffle, and they've had a really great solid run.
I thought last season was spectacular. I thought that Colorado trip was one of the funniest trips in history.
That's actually like a highly underrated trip. Like that.
Yes.
Seeing how it just started to devolve. It's like so funny to me, that whole thing, and how it started with, oh gosh, what's her name? Angel?
Angel. Uh-huh.
Yeah, Angel. When she starts off that trip where she's in the cowboy hat and she thinks she's doing something. Like,
welcome to the airport.
Everybody
ladies.
gets off that plane and she's like, I got this trip. And she like thinks she's got this like great trip ahead, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. But she was so confident. And then I was devastated. I don't think she's coming back, right? Like they're not having her back. I was devastated about that. I was devastated.
Me too. I thought it was they missed the mark on that for me. I was like, she would have been a perfect recast again. Like, no one really likes her, but like she could try a trip again. Like,
and I think we need to be able to have that. To me, she's the perfect example of like, I understand a lot of audience hates her, but like it's a necessary evil for us. Like she's like a funny person to have on that show and watching other people interact. And so to me, I wish they would have kept her around just for the laughs and like let her plan another trip or something. Like, let us have that.
Yes, I know. Well, but then people like, and Kiarna, you are beautiful. You seem like a lovely person, but like you were on for 3 seasons and like you kind of have like just the same story every season or not a ton going on. It's like we get to cast you over and over again, but then we don't get to cast Angel, who like did kind of shake the table in a weird, bizarre way. I don't know.
Yeah, and I was so disappointed we aren't going to get to see Angel and Karen, because I think that would have been such high comedy, because Karen's, of course, got the air of the Grand Dame. And I'm curious to see how that goes away this next season. But it's like the idea of Angel and her interacting to me would have been comedic gold. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. And what's next for our shows? I mean, I personally have been preaching from the mountaintop that like we need more found footage Nest Cam shows like Summer House because it's so successful and it makes for really interesting TV. I would love to see that come into Housewives in some way. What are some things you look forward to with these shows?
Well, going back to underrated season, I think the COVID season of Summer House is also underrated. Like,
shout out, I'm recapping it on this podcast right now.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's so good. I think like not a lot of the shows did the COVID stuff great, but that show did because I think of your point of it being found footage. But when you said found footage, immediately I was thinking I would love for them to kind of go back in the archives, and I would love to see them do more like celebrating the history of the shows by giving us unedited episodes or footage that we haven't seen. I know I mentioned Scary Island, and there's so much lore about Scary Island and like Kelly leaving and why did she leave and what happened. And I think without being too I don't know what the right word I'm looking for, without being too exploitative of Kelly's experience or whatever, I think it'd be so fun to see how they would re-edit that saga, or, you know, give us like a director's cut where you let the producers go and kind of redo some of that footage. Because I think there was a lot that was missed, and I think it'd be fun, or even having it be like a retrospective of like interview them again and talk to them about it. Like, I wish they would kind of do more stuff like that. And even I remember they did interviews with like Countess Luann, or they did an episode where it was like a documentary series on Countess Luann, and we got to know about her life before Housewives. Like, I kind of wish they would have done more of that. I know they're celebrating these women with like the Ultimate Girls Trip and stuff, but I think there are other ways that would be fun to see them play with some of the old footage, and I think people would watch. And even if it was, even if they were just like slightly re-edited, but then like they would get the fan base excited to be like some of these trips that we're talking about. It'd be so fun to see them re-aired with like new interviews or with new footage and stuff like that. I would love to see that.
Yeah, I agree. They did that season 8 OC, like what you didn't know about the show thing. Guys, it's like, I don't know where to find it, to be honest with you. It may be embedded in the season of OC on Peacock, but somewhere there's like an hour-long special where they talked about filming the season with the Housewives and producers, and they talk about like, you know, Vicky fighting on the snow, on the ski slope about, I didn't sleep with multiple partners in my life, like that whole thing. So like that, more of those, I agree, would be really, really great.
And even Vanderpump Rules did stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, Danny, this was so fun. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Tom. This was such a delight. I'm so glad we got to chat, and hopefully we'll get to do it again.
I would love anytime. Tell everyone where they can buy your books, listen to the show, support you.
Yeah, my show is called Everything Iconic. You can listen to wherever you get your podcasts. And then I have a couple books you can get at my website, everythingiconic.store, or wherever you buy books, or get them from your local library, or the audiobooks. And then I'm working on my next one, so it'll be out, I think, like next year at some point, early next year. But yeah, you can get the other ones wherever books are sold. And the signed copies are on my website if you want those.
Do that. I've read the books. They're both great. Danny, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Class is now in session, and the UPS Store is here to help you ace arriving on campus. Our certified packing experts can pack everything you need, from desktops to decor. Plus, when you pack and ship with us, you get our exclusive pack and ship guarantee. Your items arrive safe or your money back. Restrictions and limitations apply. To get a 20% off packing coupon and for full details, visit theupsstore.com/packing.
Don't we love Danny? We love Danny so much, right? I mean, Danny is one of the first to be out in these streets making amazing Bravo content, and I feel so lucky to get him here on the show, especially on this really exciting time. If you haven't noticed, the show looks a little different. There's some things that are a little different. The show is the same. Don't worry. Nothing about the show is changing. Nothing about the way you know, how many episodes you get is changing. That's all staying the same. The only one little thing is if you do watch the show on video on Spotify, everything on your podcast platforms will become audio only. Video versions of the show can be found over on YouTube, so go check that out. I have some great other Housewives retrospectives coming up later in this month. Ronnie Karam will be coming on in a couple weeks to do a similar type thing where we talk about our adequately hyped and our underrated. Danny had to bounce, so I just wanted to hit on a couple other things that I had on my underrated. I always think about, and this is going to be crazy to say, but I always think about why Kristen Takeman flopped so hard on her second season when she was such a strong cast choice on season 6 of Roni. I kind of think she's underrated. Her creating pop of color, POC, nail polish. What more do you want? I don't know. She just made hilarious TV. Although she did kind of flop on her second season, but she got, overshadowed by 9 women were on that season 7 cast. So, sorry, Kristen. Underrated trips, I think, and I'll go over more of these with Ronnie too, but one just for this episode that I always return to is the Atlanta season 4 Africa trip. It was Atlanta's first trip after Scary Island had happened. So Scary Island had happened. I think Bravo producers were like, oh, we need to get these people, we need to get these women, we need to get everyone on a boat. We need to get them on a plane. We need to get them somewhere else. We need to get them international. And they did it. And it was great. And then I kind of think at large, an underrated franchise is Summer House. It is in this moment on this podcast, in the current culture, become a moment. But I think until 6 months ago, it was an underrated show. So I just want to give them their flowers. Well, guys, thanks for being here. I had a blast chatting with Danny. I hope y'all loved that chat as well. Couple logistics reminder, you can follow me at the Tom Hamlet. I also just relaunched the Dumpster Dive Instagram account. You can check out over there for some more content. I'm going to be playing around with some different content that will only be over on Dumpster Dive Pod. That is the handle for the Instagram. Also, if you want to, give this show a coin to support, and if you have a coin, it is greatly appreciated. The highest tier on the Patreon, it's $15 a month, and you get your name read at the end of every single episode. So I want to give a shout out to my father, my mother, legitimately my father and my mother. They have 2 separate accounts. Andrew, Barbara, Kayla, another Andrew, Brandon, and Wendy for all being such loyal dumpster divas. If you guys want to join the Patreon or the YouTube at a paid level, there is a $4.99 tier that gets you ad-free early access videos. So go check that out. And I will be back with more stellar content with some stellar guests and a lot of solo recaps this week. And also, I'm now a Cloud 10 show. So that won't change anything for you, but hopefully it will change a lot for me. Love you guys. I can't wait for another episode. Bye.
Class is now in session. And the UPS Store is here to help you ace arriving on campus. Our certified packing experts can pack everything you need, from desktops to decor. Plus, when you pack and ship with us, you get our exclusive pack and ship guarantee. Your items arrive safe or your money back. Restrictions and limitations apply. To get a 20% off packing coupon and for full details, visit theupsstore.com/packing.
Close your eyes, exhale, feel your body relax, and let go of whatever you're carrying today.
Well, I'm letting go of the worry that I wouldn't get my new contacts in time for this class. I got them delivered free from 1-800-CONTACTS. Oh my gosh, they're so fast.
And breathe.
Oh, sorry. I almost couldn't breathe when I saw the discount they gave me on my first order. Oh, sorry. Namaste.
Visit 1-800-CONTACTS.com today to save on your first order.
1-800-CONTACTS.
Ouch. This knee is killing me, but I can't stop training. The marathon is in 2 weeks.
Let's get on ZocDoc and find a doctor to take a look at that for you.
Okay.
Here's a review. Dr. Craddock really takes his time.
No, I don't have time.
What about Dr. Charles? His patients say he can help find a quick fix, and he's in network.
Great, now we're talking. Book it.
Booked. 1 mile down, 19 to go.
Bring it on.
You've got options. Download the ZocDoc app today.
I'm not giving up. I am selling the building.
The final season of FX's The Bear.
The restaurant is flooded.
Everything's either going to be okay. No, stop!
Or not.
We are outgunned and we are outmanned, but we have each other.
FX's The Bear, the final season. All episodes now streaming on Disney+.
I'm Glenn Washington, host of Snap Judgment, the award-winning storytelling podcast from KQED. Every week, Snap deals a new card, like the girl whose sister was a monkey, or the man who lived in the woods for 30 years, or even the woman who snuck her lover out of prison in a dog crate. Pick a card, any card. Tap to listen now to Snap Judgment from KQED on Spotify.